Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Samik Rsi Prabhuji on the topic Srimad Bhagavatam verse 4.24.74. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Are you present on the call, Prabhuji?
If you take this Facebook, so you could come on the Facebook. I was told that there is a Facebook, so you could see me also. So it could be like a live talk rather than just on the phone, just audio. It could be audio and video. So if anybody likes to come and open their Facebook, that's all. So I'm also having the Facebook, or it could be just on the phone.
Yes, Prabhuji, we will share the link on our group. So anybody wants to come on Facebook, they can come on Facebook and see you, Prabhuji.
And at the same time, you want me to keep the phone also?
Yes, Prabhuji, because anybody wants to ask question, they can ask questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dandatnam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. I now hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for giving me opportunity to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Adhistarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Srimad Bhagavatam, text number 4, 2474. So chapter 24 and text number 74 of 4th canto. Athedam nityada yukto japanna vahitah puman achirat shreya apnoti vasudeva parayana. So translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. A devotee of Lord Krishna, whose mind is always absorbed in Him, who with attention and reverence chants his stotra prayer, will achieve the greatest perfection of life without delay. So I just wanted to tell you that there are some other people on Facebook, mostly from India, that I was giving the class before. So just for them, that these are the prayers that has been like Lord Shiva is giving this to Prachetas. So there was a king, Vijitashvar, also named Antardhan. He was married to Sikandini. He had 2 wives. So from Sikandini, he had 3 sons. They were like a fire god, fire demigod. Another wife was Nabhasviti, and his son was his, and Vijitashvar Antardhan's son was Havirdhan. Havirdhan, he to Havirdhani. And then he had 6 sons, but the eldest one was Barisat or Prachin Barisat. And Prachin Barisat had his wife was Shatudruti, and he had Prachetas. There were 10 children Prachetas, and before progeny they are producing more children. They went to the like for meditation for jap on the ocean, and Lord Shiva appeared, and so their mind was absorbed in the Krishna with great attention and reverence, and they were chanting. So Lord Shiva is telling this, that so devotee of Lord Krishna, whose mind is always absorbed on Him, who with great attention and reverence chants this stotra that Shiva has given, will achieve the greatest perfection of life without delay. So we will be reading the purport. Perfection means becoming a devotee of the Lord. Perfection of life means to become a devotee of the Lord. Not that we accumulate so much wealth or so much prestige or so much entourage or position or political position. That is not a perfection of life. So now we have a human life, so we must make our life perfect. As is stated in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 2:28, Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakahi. The ultimate goal of life is Vasudeva, or Krishna. Any devotee of Lord Krishna can attain all perfection, material gain, and liberation by offering prayers to him. So, whatever material we want, anything material, we want perfection, we want to become free, means whatever that we are needing, we should approach to Lord Krishna. That is the instruction that akama va sarvakama va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajet purusha param. Without any akama, we may not have any desire, or sarvakama va, yeah, moksha kama, that is liberation if you want. Moksha kama udaradi, so udar purus, one would say bigger heart or real knowledge. Tivrena bhakti yogena, that by bhakti yoga they will worship Krishna. So, and so we will read this more about Vasudeva Paraveda, this particular verse which is given by Srila Prabhupada in the purport, and then we go for further purport. Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakaha, Vasudeva Prayoga, Vasudeva Parakriya, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param, Vasudeva Parodharmo, Vasudeva Paragatihi. The revealed scripture, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna. I will explain this because we should read. This is a kind of prayer, and if we could remember this, it would be very, very nice for us. So I will go a little bit in detail about this, how this Vasudev is all in all. So Vasudeva Paraveda, ultimate object of Vedas is Sri Krishna. Vasudeva Paramakai. Makai means yajna, sacrifice. So purpose of sacrifice is to please Sri Krishna, not to please any demigod, but to yajna should be performed. Yajna Purush means Krishna. Yeah. So Vasudeva Para Yoga. The yoga means union with Krishna. Yoga is for realizing Sri Krishna. Vasudeva Para Kriya. Whatever activity we are doing is that fruitive activities, they are rewarded by Krishna. The fruits are given by Krishna. So Vasudeva Param Jnanam. Sri Krishna is the supreme knowledge. Vasudeva Param Tapa. Austerities are performed to know Sri Krishna. Vasudeva Paro Dharma. Religion, dharma means dharma. The religion is loving service unto Krishna. Savai Punsham Paro Dharma Yato Bhakti Radhokshaji. By which our Param Dharma, that our devotion to Lord Krishna is awakened. Dharma. So Hetuki Apratihata, it should be without any desire for fruitive results. Apratihata, it should not be interrupted. Only by this way our Atma would be happy. We all want some happiness or bliss, so that happiness would come by performing our real dharma. So Vasudeva Paro Dharma and Vasudeva Paragati, the supreme goal of life is Krishna, loving devotional service to Sri Krishna. So Prabhupada is writing on this particular verse, and it is nice purport. This is verses 1 to 28, which has been quoted in this our current verse that we are reading, 4:74. That Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is the only object of worship. Is confirmed in these two shlokas. In Vedic literature, there is same objective. The objective is one's relationship and ultimately reviving our last loving service. We were with Krishna in loving devotional service, but wanted to enjoy independently of Krishna. So Krishna has created this material world. So we came to the material world, and then Maya gradually has engulfed us. So that is, so Veda substance is to re-establish loving relationship and with Krishna, which we have been lost loving relationship. So that is the purpose of the Veda, purpose of Shastra. And Bhagavad Gita, the same theory is confirmed by Lord in his own words. The ultimate of the Veda is to know him only. Vedesha sarve aham eva vedya. Vedanta krat veda videshchaham. That I am the compiler of the Vedas, I am a writer of the Vedas, and purpose of the all Vedas is to understand Krishna. Vedesha sarve aham eva. Krishna is saying that I should be known by the Veda. That is some substance of the Vedas. And Bhagavad Gita is also confirming the same thing. The ultimate purpose of the Vedas is to know him only. All the revealed scriptures are prepared by the Lord through his incarnation in the body of Srila Vyasadeva, just to remind the fallen soul, conditioned by material nature that conditioned by these three modes of material nature. by Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun that we are conditioned, and we have to rise Traigunyo Vishaya Veda, next Traigunyo Bhavarjana. We are in these three modes, and we have to go beyond these three modes in Shuddha Sattva or Vasudeva Sattva. No demigod can award freedom from material bondage. That is the verdict of all the Vedic literature. In India and everywhere, so many demigods, so many are worshipped, so many incarnations they come which are not really incarnation. Incarnations are described already in Srimad Bhagavatam or our revealed scripture. So if somebody is coming that, oh yes, he is a god, here is a god. Only God is only one. There is not many gods. So no demigod can award freedom, and we all want to become free and go to the spiritual kingdom or even serve in loving devotional service even in this material world like a Jivan Mukta Purush. So impersonalists who have no information of the personality of Godhead minimize the omnipotence of the Supreme Lord and put him on equal equal footing with all other living beings. That Krishna, when he comes, that is the impersonalist. That he accepts he is impersonal, is nirakar, and when he comes, he takes a akar. He takes the akar from Maya, and that's why it is called Mayavad. That Krishna takes form like us, with hard bones, with blood, bone, skin. Means all these things are material things. Bhumi raponalo vayu mano buddhi evacha ahankara vitiyame bhinna prakriti astudha. So he takes these things, his body is material, and when he goes back, then again he becomes Nirakar. So they accept, and that is really engulfed whole India and everywhere. Practically 90% of the people are impersonalists. They don't feel that Krishna has a transcendental form. And then how we could develop our loving relation without knowing the Krishna and without knowing his form, that it is Divyam. Janma karma che me Divyam. So impersonalists have no knowledge that he has a Satchidananda form. They think that his form is material like us. So this person have very great difficulty to get out of this material bondage. They can surrender unto him only after many births in the culture of transcendental knowledge. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvameti samahatma sudurlabha. So after many births of pious activity, then one may come to the knowledge that Vasudeva is all in all. Vasudeva sarvameti samahatma sudurlabha. So one may argue that the Vedic activities are based on sacrificial ceremony, but all such sacrifices are also meant for realizing the truth about Vasudeva. Another name of Vasudeva is Yajna, sacrifice. Vasudeva para makai. Makai means the sacrifice. So all sacrifice and all activities are to be conducted for the satisfaction of Yajna or Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. This is the case also with the yoga system. So yoga is also meant, yoga means a union to get in touch with the Supreme Lord. The process, however, includes several bodily features such as asana, dhyan, pranayam, all this Astanga yoga. So, and all of them are meant for concentrating upon the localized aspect of Vasudeva represented as Paramatma. So Paramatma realization is what? Partial realization of the Vasudeva. And if one is successful in that attempt, one realizes Vasudeva in full. But by ill luck, most yogis are restrained by the powers of the mysticism by this process, dhyan, dharana, samadhi. So they get certain yogic powers and they just become eluded by the yogic power and cannot go to all the way realizing Krishna. So that is their ill luck by performing this yogic processes. Ill-fated yogis are given a chance in the next birth by being. So if they cannot become successful, then they get a birth in the family of Brahmanas, means Vaishnavas, or family of some Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brasta Vijayate, who become Yoga Brasta, then they develop either in Suchinam, Suchinam means one who are very devoted family, or Srimatam, one who are very rich family. They take their birth and again go further in their attempt. But most of the persons, they are captivated by the material wealth, honor, and thus they practically forget the aim of life. So, in the knowledge culture, according to the Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 items in culturing knowledge. By such culture of knowledge, one becomes gradually prideless. devoid of vanity. These are the objects of knowledge that one should develop this non-violence, forbearing, simple, devoted to the great spiritual master, and self-control. By culture of knowledge, one becomes unattached. If we understand what is the purpose of this life, and this is for Indians, it is very easy they take it. But now we have been so much with the Western kachon and Western glittering, we forgot our own culture, and that's why Prabhupada. But it is still people have so much faith. I'm in India, and for any festival, 10,000, 20,000 people to gather together is not a difficult thing. But people are misled by the teachers, and they are not given the real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has everything practically. One can become a pure devotee of the Lord just by understanding the Bhagavad Gita. One does not have to know about the Bhagavatam. One may say that yes, there are descriptions of the devotees and Krishna himself, but the knowledge can come that we will have attraction for Krishna reading Bhagavatam by Bhagavad Gita. And it is a complete knowledge. By culture of knowledge, one becomes unattached to the earth and home and becomes conscious of the miseries due to death, birth, dukkha doshanu darshanam. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. We should see that it is a suffering, and all culture of knowledge culminates in devotional service to the personality of God at Vasudeva. So Vasudeva is the ultimate aim in culturing all different branches of knowledge. Culture of knowledge leading one to the transcendental plane of meeting Vasudeva is real knowledge. So ultimately, to understand Vasudeva, that is real knowledge, and engage in devotional service. Just to know Vasudeva is not all enough. That is, but you have, when you know Gyan and Vigyan, Gyan, that is the science. So Vigyan, that is that we have to engage in devotional service. That is the real Vigyan. Physical knowledge in its various branches is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita as Agyan, are the opposite of real knowledge. The ultimate aim of physical knowledge is to satisfy the senses. Physical means this material knowledge. That is not Vigyan at all, which means prolongation of the terms of material existence and thereby a continuation of the threefold miseries. Anyway, so this is about Vasudeva, and we will read more further purport of the original verse. अथेदम नित्यदा युक्तो जपन्न वहितः पुमान् अचिरात् श्रेय आपनोति वासुदेव परायणः. So there are many varieties of prayers to Lord of Krishna chanted by great sages and great personalities such as Lord of Brahma and Lord of Shiva. Lord of Krishna is known as Shiva Viranchi Nutam, that is given in 11.535. Shiva means Lord of Shiva, Viranchi means Brahma. Both of these demigods are engaged in offering prayer to Lord of Vasudeva, Krishna. If we follow in the footsteps of such great personalities and become devotees of Lord Krishna, our lives will become successful. So, unfortunately, people do not know this secret. Nate vidu swartha gati Vishnu. This is a quotation from Bhagavatam 7.531. So, so we will go for both of those verses from Bhagavatam. What it is impossible to become satisfied by trying to adjust the external energy. Without means thinking that I will change this situation, and I will be happy. But one will never be happy in the material world. It is stemmed, rubber stemmed by Krishna, Dukhalayam, Ashashvatam. So whatever is in our fate, destiny, or whatever that we have done in the past life, we will get it automatically. We don't go to buy suffering. So automatically you will get happiness. But this is material happiness. We should be happy in Krishna conscious. So it is impossible to become satisfied by trying to adjust the external energy without being a devotee of Lord Krishna. One can only be baffled and confused. To save living entity from such a calamity, Lord Krishna points out in Bhagavad Gita, Nam Janmanaman se Jnanavat Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvam Samatma Sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, a wise man surrenders unto me, knowing very well that I, Vasudeva, am everything. Such a great place, very rare. We can achieve whatever benediction we want simply by becoming devotee of Vasudeva. So we talked about Vasudeva. Now I will just Nate Vidu Swartha Gatim Hi Vishnu. This is 7.531, I think. Durashaye Bahir Arth Manir. Bahir Arth means outside. Andha Yathandhair Upaniyamana Ste Pishatantriam Urudamni Baddha. Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted their leader or guru, a similar blind man attached to the external sense objects, cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of the Lord, Vishnu. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall in a ditch, materially attached man led by another materially attached man are bound by the ropes of the fruitive labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold misery. Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik. So this is what is going on. A blind leading the blind. Or somebody is a drowning man. And if he is drowning himself, how he could protect the another drowning person? If we are bound up, so we have to take shelter of a person who is free, who is in knowledge, and so who is either Krishna himself take his shelter, or some saintly people, or who are free, or a spiritual master. So since there are always be a different of opinion between demons and devotees, Hiranyakashipu, when criticized by son Prahlad Maharaj, should not have been surprised that Prahlad Maharaj differed from his way of life. So everybody is different, everybody is individual. Nonetheless, Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry and wanted to rebuke his son for deriding his teacher or his spiritual master who had been born in the Brahman family of the great Acharya Shukracharya. Shukra means semen, and Acharya refers to a teacher or guru. Hereditary gurus means a seminal progeny or spiritual masters have been accepted everywhere. I mean, his father was guru, then the son becomes also automatically guru or Acharya. But that is not the correct way. He should have the knowledge and he should be practicing himself. Acharya means acharati. He should also behave in that way. So hereditary guru or spiritual masters have been accepted everywhere since the time immemorial, but Prahlad Maharaj declined to accept such a seminal guru or take instruction from him. An actual guru is Shrotiya. Shrotiya, one who has heard or received perfect knowledge through parampara, the Vedic disciplic succession. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj did not recognize a seminal spiritual master. He rejected even this Prahlad Maharaj's son Virochan and his son Bali Maharaj. He also rejected his guru Shukracharya. Such spiritual masters are not at all interested in Vishnu. Indeed, they are hopeful of material success. Bahir Artha Manina. Bahir Artha means outside, material thing. The word Bahi means external. Artha means interest. And Manina means take very seriously. Practically, everyone is unaware of the spiritual world. The knowledge of this materialist is restricted within the 4 billion miles limit of this material world. That is one. So, like this, there are many, many material planets or material universes. But beyond the material universes, that there is a spiritual kingdom. The boundary is Virja river. Then there is a effulgence of the body of Krishna. Then there are many, many Vaikuntha planets, and beyond the Vaikuntha planet is the Krishna Lok. So they do not know that beyond the material world is the spiritual world. Unless one is devotee of the Lord, one cannot understand the existence of the spiritual world. By scientific knowledge, one cannot know. Teachers who are simply interested in the material world are described in this verse as andha. They are blind. And such blind men may lead many other blind followers without true knowledge of material conditions. But they are not accepted by devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. Some blind teachers, being interested in the external material world, are always bound by the strong ropes of material nature. So one more verse that is being quoted here is Deyam Sada Paribhava Sapnam Abhistadoham Tirthaspadam Shiva Virinchi Nukam Sharanyam Bharatyartiham Pratapala Bhavabdipotam Vande Mahapurushati Charanarvindam. My dear Lord, you are the Mahapurush, the supreme personality of Godhead, and I worship your lotus feet, which are the only external object of meditation. So these are all the prayers. And if we learn those prayers, there are many, many prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam by demigods, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruv Maharaj and Ambarish Maharaj and Yudhishthir Maharaj. And so there are many, many prayers, and we could take those prayers and make our own prayers, and Lord listen to our prayer. So so here it has been said, you are the uh, Mahapurush, the supreme personality of Godhead, and I worship your lotus feet, which are the only eternal objects of meditation. Those feet destroy the embarrassing condition of material life and freely award the greatest desire of the soul. The attainment of pure love of Godhead, my dear Lord, your lotus feet are the shelter of all holy places and of all saintly authorities in the line of devotional service, and are honored by powerful demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. My Lord, you are so kind that you willingly protect all those who simply bow down to you with respect, and thus you mercifully relieve all the distress of your servants. In conclusion, my Lord, your lotus feet are actually the suitable boat for crossing over the ocean of birth and death, and therefore even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva seek shelter at your lotus feet. So we should also take shelter, firmly catching the hold of the Krishna, that please protect me, please give me shelter to your lotus feet. And so those prayers are very, very, very nice, and we should meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. And also, whoever comes into this contact with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his movement, Krishna Varnam Chosha Krishnam, Sangopangasra Parshadam, Yagyi Sankirtana Praye, Yajanti Somedasa. Krishna Varnam means every time we speak Krishna, or he is blackish color, but mostly Krishna Varnam. Varnam means alphabets. So Krishna, uh, Tvasha Akrishna, but he is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's color is Akrishna. Sango Pangas, and he comes with his all the Sang and Sango and Parshads and all his entourage. Yeah, and he is the founder Acharya of this Sankirtan movement. So that is the best that is brought by Srila Prabhupada to the Western countries, and we should take it very seriously. Deyam Sada, always be meditating upon the lotus feet. And there is no hard and fast rule, particularly in this Sankirtan Yajna. So that is the Yajna authorized process for this Kali Yuga. This mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that should be executed always. So this is also a prayer that, oh my dear Lord, oh energy of the Lord, please engage me in your loving devotional service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Nam Namakari Bahudani Jasarva Shaktis Tatrarpitani Amite Smarnena Kala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagvanamapi Gurudeva Darsham Yajani Nanuraga. So Krishna has invested all this potency in his holy name, and there are no hard and fast rules for chanting such names. So according to Kal, Desha, Niyama are regulations of time and place. That is not there in chanting. Normally there are strict regulations in governing the time, season, place, conditions. So like demigod worship, there are so many rules and regulations. And it's become so hard. It should be particular time, particular mantras. Otherwise demigod become angry. And whatever they are giving is very, very temporary. And they cannot give you liberation or love of Godhead. So why to unnecessarily waste our time in demigod worship and so many other gods that we create our own, which are not existing, and we, uh, and we get just remain into the material world. So one should chant the holy name Krishna everywhere at all times, 24 hours a day. So even if you are engaged in Krishna service, at the same time you could remember, like the gopis example, that the gopis, they are cleaning their house, they are putting like cow dung on the house walls and the floor, or they are grinding the grains, or they are churning the butter and milking the cows, or taking care of the children, or so in every time that one just takes this, remember Krishna, remember his pastimes, remember his beautiful form. So the process is so easy for a simple minded. But if you think that I'm a big man, I'm very, very rich, I'm feeding so many people, or by the post, or by in so many ways, if we become proudy, then they cannot really chant, or they cannot see Krishna's form. Paribhava Dhanam. In Kali Yuga, human society is infected with enviousness. So there is great envy even among members of the same family who constantly quarrel in this age. Similarly, neighbors are envious of each other and of each other's possession and status. An entire nation burning with envy go to war unnecessarily at the risk of genocide caused by terrible modern weapons like we have now. So this is all because of the envy. Why America is higher? Why they are earning more? Let me take their position. So this is all the reason behind all this because of godlessness. If everyone chants, becomes God conscious and uh, Sankirtan and glorify the Lord, then Lord will take care of all these problems. It will become like a Ram Rajya. So all these harassments caused by family members, strangers, so-called friends, who are unfaithful, opposite nations, financial competition, social disgrace, cancers, or this coronavirus can be relieved by taking shelter of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is not possible to save the material body, but one who takes shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loosens the heart knot of the heart that psychologically binds him to the hallucination of identity with the external body. We are not the body or the subtle material mind. Once this false identification is broken, one can be blissful in any adverse material condition. Those who foolishly try to make the temporary body eternal are wasting their time. We cannot live here forever and neglecting the actual process. So we should take seriously and we should make the permanent life. We don't want to make our houses on the bridge, and we should take firmly to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. Tirthas Padam means that the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the shelter of all holy places. As the Krishna consciousness movement spreads all over the world, we often find, especially the poor third world countries, that it is very difficult for people to travel to India to visit the most exalted holy places such as Vrindavan, Mayapur. In South America, it is very difficult for a large number of devotees to visit such places in India and purify themselves. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful that simply by worshipping him, Vaishnavas throughout the world receive the benefit of having visited the same holy place, namely the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we worship wherever there is Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, holy places are there. We say that there is one out of the 5 prominent places, that prominent things that we should live in a holy place. But holy place is Mad Bhakti Yat Gayanti Tatra Tishtami Narada. Wherever my devotees are singing my devotees, I am there. So uh, one may not be able to come to holy places, but they could have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu singing beauty, and that is also a holy place. So there is no loss for followers of Krishna consciousness movement despite their external situation. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has stated, he is saying, in this age the world is so polluted by sinful life that it is very difficult to become free from all the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Still, one who is faithfully serving the missionary work of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu need not fear occasional unavoidable symptoms of Kali Yuga. The followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu strictly follow the 4 regulatory principles: no illicit sex, no intoxication, no meat eating, and no gambling. They try to always chant Hare Krishna and engage in the service of the Lord. So it may happen that by accident or occasional symptom of Kali Yuga, such as envy, anger, lust, greed, may momentarily appear in the life of a devotee. But if such a devotee is actually surrendered at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his mercy, such an unwanted symptom of anartha will quickly disappear. So, yes, Shiva, Viranchi, they are all praying to the Lord. So we should also pray to the Lord. So Lord Shiva is telling through this verse that we should be engaged in prayer. We should be engaged in one prayer is Krishna chanting the holy name. So Lord Shiva is telling to all the prachitas, 10 of them, and so we should take to that in our own life very seriously and make our life successful. So I will end here. If there is any questions or comments, we could take, and next time, if it is possible to go on the Facebook, that would be more easy for everyone. So
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for very beautiful class. If anybody have any questions, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Now then, all goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Class, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice class. Wonderful points for introspection and observing. Very grateful to your class. So one question, Prabhuji. You were talking about this envy and how it's so much prevalent in this world and among different countries. And we also see that we have been trained to be like that. Like since the beginning of our lives, it's always competition in the school and in college, and you have to come first and things like that. And with that background only we come to Krishna consciousness also. And we hear that everything else can be dovetailed, but envy cannot. And it's very very bad to envy the devotees. But we see that is still prevalent. And in your life also you must have come across so many situations like that. So we see how Shishupal, out of envy, he couldn't dovetail in or become a devotee. But at the same time, Jaga and Madai, who were sinful, they got the mercy of the Lord. So can you give us some tips, Prabhuji, how to handle this very ugly demon and be purified?
It's very, very prominent in Kali Yuga, this envy business. This Jaga and Madai, they surrendered to Lord Nityananda. They surrendered, and because of that, they got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they forgave. So surrendering is one, that we should have humility to surrender. Another thing is, spardha, competition is not bad. But envy means we could also do more than somebody else. That is all right in classes or anywhere. But when we become feel that why he has that, why I don't have that. But this would go away because we are not Krishna conscious. By chanting, following the regulative principles, by knowing that everybody has a certain destiny and whatever they must have done something in the previous life. So understanding Krishna's point and Krishna consciousness, then one would not become envy. It is the demonic tendency. And so the solution is again to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, be very simple and accept whatever is in the destiny of ours. And but destiny does not prevent us from taking the shelter of Lord Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Mahavadanaya. So he is the most magnanimous, and because of his magnanimity, he forgave Jagai and Madhai, who were sinful, but they did not do any Vaishnava aparad. So if we don't perform Vaishnava aparad, and at the same time we take to the process of Krishna consciousness very seriously, and serve Vaishnava, serve devotees, then this tendency will gradually, it will root off, it will go away. So the solution is chanting, and that will mitigate all kinds of this Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Madan, Matsarya. Matsarya is envy. And Srimad Bhagavatam, and that is this envy is completely kicked out. So that will happen, but it may take certain time. It depends on how deeply rooted it is. And somebody who has done some pious activity from before, like Hiranyakashipu was envious of his own son. That why is worshipping Vishnu? I am God. So that is a great envy for him, and he wanted to even kill his son. But son changed that mentality. At the end, he asked Lord Narasimha that please forgive my father, and he says that not just your father, but even 21 generations will be liberated. So, and because Prahlad was a devotee, if we become a devotee, our envy would go away. Even you could make one another person or in your family or your own son or daughter devotee, then uh, our life is would be, we will become free, we will become free of enviousness. Yes, that is you, as you said, it is a root. It is a root has been rooted for long, long time. God knows for how long. But anyway, once we come to Krishna consciousness, that problem would not be there. It could be solved by just taking the process of Krishna consciousness.
Thank you
Okay,
so
I
much.
hope it helps.
Yeah,
It
thank
helps
you,
you.
Prabhuji. With your vast experience and your really hearing from you is very, very powerful and pleasing, Prabhuji. Thank
There
you
are
so
many
much for taking
nice
time off
devotees
and
in
coming
our
to this
home.
conference class, giving us your association.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu. This is Neena from Naperville, Chicago. It's so wonderful to hear your voice again. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, with regards to this verse, so we understand that we are not perfect, we are trying to be perfect, and perfection means becoming a devotee of the Krishna, etc. Now let's say a hypothetical question. When, let's say, it's a hypothetical, we become perfect. So what happens? We become perfect. We are saying we are going back to Krishna land or Golokdham. Now the question is, Prabhuji, when do we start developing a spiritual body with which we can go back to Golokdham? So simultaneously we are developing a spiritual body, Prabhu? Or let's say when a pure devotee of the Lord, he sheds his material body, immediately he's granted a spiritual body, or it takes a while? He hangs in somewhere in the middle and then goes back.
Okay. So Nina ji, let me answer to these things. See, one thing is that if we use our everything, even it is a material body, it is spiritualized, just like the iron you put in a hot, like in a fire, it takes a fiery quality. So if we use our material body in the service of the Lord, then it is really spiritual, just like we don't cremate the body of a spiritual master or sannyasi just because his body is transcendental, like we have Samadhi of Srila Prabhupada. So that is one thing. There are several points that I would like to point that out. Another thing that yes, when we die, only our gross body remains here, but subtle body goes along with the soul. So subtle body goes, and then after the millennium or when the Brahma's life is over, then we enter into the body of Mahavishnu. So, but when we become purified, when we go, it's not necessary that loving devotional service could be done here. But many devotees who have taken a devotional life, then Krishna sends them to a planet where he is still performing his pastime, and you assist in his pastime. So you may take a birth in the planet because Krishna's Leela is going on and from one planet to another, like Krishna consciousness. 24 hours you could hear Govindam Adi Purusha, means the DP service, or when the curtains are open or Shangar Arati is going on practically every hour if you just watch it, because there are temples all over. So there are universes, other places where Krishna is still performing his pastimes. Uh, like when he came 5,000 years ago. So we participate there, and then you may be transferred. Being trained more, we could be transferred to the spiritual kingdom. But when we go through this Virja River is a boundary between all the material planets and the spiritual planet. So there is a Brahma Jyoti, and then all the Vaikuntha planets are floating in that, and beyond Vaikuntha planet is Krishna Loka. So when we go to this Virja River, then the subtle body also dissolves. Otherwise, subtle body, if we have to take rebirth again in the material world, then we enter into body of Mahavishnu. at the time of devastation. So body, subtle body does dissolve, like mind, intelligence, and false ego, they remain because they are also subtle material elements. Bhumirapayano vayu kammano bhakti evacha ahankar itiyame bhinna prakati aswata. They are elements of material nature. So you go in pure spiritual form and you develop that soul is so tiny, but when it goes to the spiritual kingdom, they take all the spiritual Satchid and Ananda. So we get those body which is not material. We get a spiritual transcendental body in the spiritual world. And we serve Krishna. We could serve Krishna in the material world, we could serve in the spiritual world, because material world is also Krishna's one of the energy, although it is the inferior energy, and we should not live because every step there is so many envious people and other things are there. So our place, the real home is back home, back to Godhead, in the spiritual kingdom. And one can go there if he is simple and takes to the process line down or which has been delineated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if we take to that, it is easy. We could go in this lifetime also. It is possible. And if we have still certain attachment to the material things that we want to enjoy, then Krishna gives you another and another body. So if it remains incomplete, he takes birth in Suchi Nam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Vijayate. So if you are Yoga Brashta, then we can take birth in a devotee family or in family of a rich man, that we don't have to worry about maintenance of our body, and we could continue the process. But Krishna consciousness is never lost. It continues from wherever position you are in. One day will come that you will perfect it, because if you take a 5%, then it will start from 5.1% in the next life. Krishna creates that situation. And also the greatest danger is to go through 8.4 million species of life, and that would also not happen in Krishna consciousness, because devotional service can only be performed in a human life. So our human life is guaranteed, and we don't have to go through the sansar, through it, so many species of life. So it saves us. Neha bhikramanasosti pratyavayona vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mato bhayat. The greatest danger is to go in the material whirlpool of so many life. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, janani jathare agnish. So we guys go one mother to another mother and suffer birth, death, old age and disease. They are all suffering. So we would not be suffering, we would not suffer to all this if we take to Krishna consciousness and progress gradually and gradually. Or you could do by following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, we could go in this lifetime. If we give for attachment of enjoying fruitive activity, fruitive means we want the fruits for our senses. But if we could devote our all the propensity, you want to eat nice, offer to Krishna and take his prasad. You want to have a family, then let be family, like it is family of Krishna given to you as a caretaker. So you take custodian, that you take care of that, and that way you should not feel it is mine. Nothing is ours. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Yena Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tityakena Mujji Kama Gradaka Sudadhanam. So we should not be thinking that this is mine, I am the proprietor, because most of the people, they think that yes, I am the Malik. Yeah, I own this. But we don't own anything. We come empty handed and go empty handed. So there is so much to say. So I really went too much, but I hope that I answered to your question, that whether we go with this body or what kind of body. When we go to the spiritual kingdom, we get a spiritual body. Means it is not material like what we see here.
Yes, Prabhuji, wonderfully explained. So, yes, Prabhu, you're so right. The real devotees can dissolve their subtle body here itself. However, us, we have to go around and shed the subtle body before we enter. Yes, Prabhuji, it's always reaffirmed by your wonderful thoughts and knowledge. Many pranams.
You have read so much. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhuji, in this verse 74 that we were reading, this offering, right, Prabhu? When we recite this Rudra Gita, there is benefit. So how do we quantify? If somebody asks, if I eat, my stomach is full, so I tangibly can say that. But here, if we recite this chants, right, prayers, how do we, quantify what benefit we see?
Prabhu, the way of quantifying is that how much our attachment to the matter is reduced. Means if we are still attached to sense enjoyment, to the matter, then naturally it takes, then we are still on the same place. So our attachment to enjoying propensity independent of Krishna. You enjoy with Krishna, not independent of that. Then you are progressing. Progress is seen, or you could judge yourself that how much attraction I have if we are thoughts in our mind, in our activity, in our dealings is still the same way, like in karmi, then we are not progressing. But if you take to these prayers, you take to Krishna consciousness, then it is natural that yes, we are advancing. And you are for Krishna, for chanting, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayers, they call it Nayanam Galadashu Dharaya Vadanam Gadgad Rudaya Gira Pulakar Nikitam Vapu Gada Savanama Grahane Bhavishati. So some time should come that we feel so much attraction for the holy name, so much attraction for hearing the Shastra, associating with devotees, serving the deities, eating only Krishna Prasad, following all the rules and regulations. So unless we are not advancing in that way, then how we could say that I am doing something great or better? Or so we have to see our own, or someone else can also judge also. If he is an advanced devotee, then he can also judge whether you are advancing in Krishna consciousness or not. I'm not saying you don't have to maintain the body, but that is one thing. And having too much attraction, that is all in all, and not thinking that Krishna consciousness. So our thought process, our psychology, or where our mind is going, that one would know himself if he sees deeply or thinks or contemplates or revises his whole day activity, that what is happening, am I advancing or not? You could say yourself.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yes. No, but if there is any another counter question, you could certainly ask. If there is something else is there that is in your mind, please let us just discuss.
No, Prabhu, this was it. And one point became very clear for me. During this lecture, I had some confusion in one Bhagavad Gita verse. Right? What does perfection mean? Right? So Prabhupada clearly says in the first verse, what is perfection?
So which verse is that?
No, in the 7th chapter, there is verse, right, Prabhu? I'm looking, right, Prabhu. Yeah, the 7th chapter. Yeah, Manusyanam Sahasreshu Kaschin Yatati Siddhaye Yatatapi Siddhanam Kaschin. Yeah.
Mam Vetti Tattvata. Right. So,
yeah,
Manusyanam Sahasreshu Kaschin Yatati Siddhaye. The Siddha means understanding that I am not this body. That is Siddha. That I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. But that understanding itself is not enough. Then out of those many people like who are obtained. So Siddhi means no attachment to anything material. But still you have to engage in devotional service. Means you have been given the arms, legs, intelligence. So all these things, Rashikesha, Rashikena, Sevanam Bhaktir, Uchyate or Uttama. So that we should use all the senses in service of the master of the sense, which is Krishna. So Siddha Naam, that very few people out of millions, they become Siddha. Then out of many Siddhas, then becoming a devotee of the Lord is much more higher. Yatatam api Siddhanam Kashin Mam Vetti Tattvata. But knowing by truth is very, very rare. So it may be in millions, there may be one or person that who may be a pure devotee of the Lord. And we should take shelter of that kind of person. So you have rightly quoted this verse that it's not that easy. But if you have a very simple heart and take to this seriously and follow the process, then you can advance further.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Right.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the beautiful class, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, you said that, we ourselves can understand if we are progressing in Krishna consciousness or not. The problem is while we are, judging ourselves, we overestimate our activities, and we might, it can be mental concoction that we are thinking that I am, advancing in Krishna consciousness, but which may not be true. And we keep on being in that illusion that, okay, I'm getting advanced in Krishna consciousness. So how to understand whether we are really advancing or it is a mental concoction that, yeah.
No, very nice question. You put it very rightly. But you would know by whether you are still, your thoughts, your mentality is going to enjoy the senses. That you could see that you have, oh, let me have this, let me have such and such things. Then that is still, and then still you are thinking yourself advanced. Then we are fooling ourselves. So yes, it could be mental concoction, and many people have that. Oh, I am chanting, I am doing very nicely. And many people who donate money or have some luxurious life, or politicians, they all are concocting in their way, unless it is with sadhu, shastra and guru. So you have to compare, you have to see by the eyes, not just your own judgment, but also at the same time whether my life is like another devotee. Sadhu means a pure devotee of the Lord, or how your guru is telling you, or third is according to the shastric. So shastra is the evidence, shastra praman. So that has to be there, not our own mind that we just think that I am advancing or I am not advancing. So you have to see from the angle of not only ours, we may misjudge and we may concoct, but we have to take through sadhu, shastra and guru also, and take their opinion. You have to reveal your mind to others, where your mind is going, where your senses are going, and then revealing and then hearing from them in confidence. That could give you somewhat more clue than your own thinking.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So since you have told how to understand, how to know whether it is mental concoction or not. So once we realize we are actually advancing, how to keep ourselves grounded so that pride do not take over, and we understand that we are nothing but the mercy of the Vaishnavas, Guru Maharaj and Krishna. Otherwise we wouldn't have been where we are. How to keep ourselves grounded, Prabhu?
Just chanting and regularly reading scriptures and hearing from the Shastra. So, Shastra Praman. So, we have to take to the Sat Shastra like Srimad Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Bhagavat. So we should really keeping our mind focused on those. Then life of many devotees like Bhaktamal, that is how the other lives of so many are given already in Srimad Bhagavatam, but you could read life story of so many, what they have done, and am I doing in the same line or not? Mahajano yena gatasa pantha, that wherever the Mahajans are going, that is the path. So you have to see that I am still doing the same way like any another devotee is doing. Not really comparing with them that I am greater than him or not, but at least what way they have done, and whether we are following in their footsteps.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah, grounding would be that you have to read the scripture, meditate on Krishna. Our mind attachment should be on Krishna rather than letting it go either and either. And so advancement in material life and advancement in spiritual life, there are two directions. So if we are so much attached to material world, naturally we are still in the material world. We are not advancing in Krishna consciousness. So at least we should spend so much time in our self, judging ourselves and asking, revealing. At least you should have at least one advanced devotee as a friend to whom you could really reveal your mind.
So Prabhuji, then that gives another question that you're saying reading scripture. Like being a parent, we don't get all the time. I mean, though I do not work outside, but at home, being a parent, it becomes a little difficult sometimes to invest ourselves. Like when I see other devotees who are so sincere, reading the scripture so nicely, scrutinizing the scripture and reading what Srila Prabhupada has instructed us. I'm just not able to do as much as them, and Krishna consciousness seems sometimes really difficult to advance, at least if not to maintain. So as a parent, as a mother, what tip will you give me or any of my state? What will you give me advice, Prabhu, so that I can remain and at least little advancement if I can?
Yeah, gradual advancement means you have to give up asat sanga tyage Vaishnava achar. That asat sanga, that we have attachment, not attachment, but we sung are associated with so many which is not essential. Gramya Charcha are talking about somebody else's what they are doing, wasting time in TV, or eating somewhere else. So if you reduce, like you get some time, reducing your sleep, sleeping earlier, waking up earlier, finish your rounds earlier, do your household work, yes, you have to do. You may be doing a job, so that is. But while doing all these things, you have to dovetail in Krishna consciousness. Just think your object of the home as service to Krishna, your work, and then you are cooking for Krishna, you are taking care of that, my children and home, they all belong to Krishna. So use your all the senses in service of the Master of the, and gradually Krishnaize it everything. So don't lament that even if you don't have time, you will get time if you change your mentality as a service to Krishna on everything. So dovetailing with all these things and also trying to remove unnecessary things which comes in our mind or in which we are engaged. I don't know how your whole 24-hour goes, but if you change some habits, you will get more time and you will be able to read the scriptures or hear at least some classes. There are many advanced classes by advanced devotees. So we dwell on those things rather than
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your tips, Prabhuji.
You are listening to this tape. That is nice. Prabhupada chanting such a pure Vaishnava. Okay. Hare Krishna. So should we end now? Or if there is anyone has any comments, questions, discussions?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your very enlightening class today, and we are very grateful to you. We look forward for your association again in future. If nobody have any questions, we can end the call here. Let's play our obeisances to Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas. Svancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo namo namaha. Granted Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Samik Rsi Prabhuji ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your knowledge.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.